Okay, and eXile is playing Zerg here. Good game. Good luck, guys. Have fun. I'm looking forward to the cast. Jiggy already firing his shots at eXile. We know these two are secretly lovers. Have to keep up the banter so nobody gets too suspicious, but I'm on to them. And you know, we're going to put music on for this cast. The StarCraft music, that is. Makes the game so much more epic. In the top center portion of the map, it is the blue Zerg, eXile. His opponent, recent addition to our clan, the red Terran, Sweed. Also known as Bing Bing, I'm gonna say. But yeah, we're gonna call him Sweed. Unless he instructs me otherwise. So, I know one build that Sweed does, which he actually picked up from Jiggy, is a one base Cyclone build. Can't recall actually if it's Cyclone Hellion or if it's Cyclone Marine. I think it's Cyclone Marine. But that's, as I said, that's one build that he does, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he also does a 2-1-1, because I know he's talked about how to use the 2-1-1 before in my chat. And from eXile's end, I know he likes to go hatch gas pool in his ZvT pretty much all the time. So that is in fact what we're seeing right now. 17 hatch, 17 gas, 17 pool. Only 2 drones right now in gas. Quickly corrected that. And eXile really mixes it up. He'll do everything from fast burrow play to a 2-base Spire play. He doesn't have, as far as I can tell, doesn't have one set style that he likes playing in ZvT. Already, we actually have a depot prior to an expansion. I'm not going to talk with Sweed during the series. That wouldn't be fair, but I'm going to tell him that he should get his expansion before this depot. Anyway. Speed is on the way. Nice SCV scout there from Sweed. It was actually really early. Can't fault him too much. I think it really just depends on your comfort level for when you want to scout. With a scout that early, it would basically be impossible to die to any early pool. You don't do that in TVZ, Jiggy? Okay. Yeah, because I saw him in his trial game for our clan. He broke it out. Oh my goodness, eXile gets the kill on the Reaper. That's actually a really big deal. About a good, what, 15 seconds or so? More than that, actually. About 25, 30 seconds before Speed is finished. So eXile is actually now free to do whatever he wants. He is throwing down an immediate Baneling Nest before third base. Only slightly before. He is droning. Sweed still has this SCV back here that can poke in and find out what's going on at any time. Tech Lab on the racks, going up to 3 barracks, and a Tech Lab on the factory. So it looks like we're going to have Stim, and I'm guessing a Siege Tank. There aren't going to be enough resources immediately for both of those, though. Looks like eXile is moving in now for a scout. Overlord Speed on the way. Won't be done quite in time for this scout, unless he pauses outside. Yep, looks like that's actually what he's going to do. Wait outside. He's going to wait for it to complete before sending this in. The back Overlord does scout the natural, actually gets to see an SCV transfer as well. Swedes has confirmed the third base, so he's probably not too worried right now. Siege tank is coming out. Stim is in fact on the way. Marines are going to come in, but Overlord speed is finished, so this Overlord should be safe. I think with some stutters, I think with stutter step it actually could have been killed. Stutter stepping up this way. I think so. I'm not positive. Wasn't paying too close attention, but either way, both players have pretty good scout on what their opponent is doing. Starport is seen. In fact, everything is seen aside from the engineering bay. So eXile really knows what's up. Swede actually would like to get in there, and he should be checking for a lair timing at this point. Lair and preferably unit composition scout as well. Because he's known about the third base for quite a while now, so he has to be expecting that the tech choice will be made soon enough. He's going to come up into the main, does not quite see the Baneling nest. He did see the Speedlings. Did his SCV see the lair? Yes, he saw the lair morphing in. So a bit of a supply block. Third base coming down. So basically with what Swede has going right now, he has enough units out to where he shouldn't be killed by anything. Not that eXile is planning that. He's actually going for a big round of drones here. But Swede is basically safe to everything, and he's getting his third base behind it. He actually has combat shields as well. I didn't realize that he had gotten those done so quickly. This could be a really annoying push, by the way. If Swede sets up here, or here, Medevac will get high ground vision, and will deny a lot of mining here. He should not do a frontal assault, because eXile's Speedlings will easily take this out. eXile right now has 14 Speedlings and, 16 Banelings. So he actually has a really nice Baneling count. I'm a little bit worried that he doesn't have enough Speedlings right now, though. Worker count, of course, is in favor of the Zerg. Okay, this is actually what I feared that Swede would do. Now, I'm not saying it can't work, but this is going to be much more difficult to make work than this back position. Anyway, eXile does close the distance very quickly. Banelings are going to connect on the Marines. The tank is going to get a heck of a lot of kills. But all in all, I have to say that this engagement does favor the Zerg player. Take a look at the army supply. It's actually 30-11 right now in favor of Swede. But Zerg can catch up quite quickly, especially with a bank like this. In fact, eXile definitely wants to spend and spend as soon as possible. Infestation Pit, interesting choice. So, going for a really fast Infestation Pit. Not sure if it's going to be for a super fast Hive, or if it's going to be for Infestors. Fourth base being taken at the gold, rocks being cleared. Spire tech has been done for a while, but to my knowledge, yeah, no units have been made from the Spire. But what I do like from eXile is that as soon as he defended the push, he threw down his Infestation Pit. So he's already gearing up for the next phase of the game. Well timed there. Meanwhile, on the Terran side of the map, Swede has not missed a beat here. He's actually getting his racks up beautifully. He's got his third base up. Looks like his SCV count is a little bit low. He's oversaturated a bit at his natural. Definitely wants to saturate this third as quickly as possible. And with a bank like this, I would really like to see eXile throw down a macro hatch. And yeah, I think he really should produce constant queens off of all of his hatcheries as well. Here we go. Queens here, but he should be producing queens there as well. If he's not going to go up to Hive anytime soon, I think he wants to start producing queens here as well. He really wants to start chipping away at that bank. Take a look at the army supply. Again, it's 62-32. That's a really, really big deal. And with this push out, this is actually very threatening. In fact, I mean, the more I look at it, I'm not sure how eXile is going to hold this. It's 1-1 versus 1-1, with +2 attack coming down at roughly the same time for both players. And again, we have a frontal assault. Does Sweed know? Yes, he does know about the gold base, but it looks like he wants to come up here and hit in between. Once again, though, I have to point this out. It's 71 army supply to 35. I don't think eXile can hold this. Sweed pokes in. He's going to take down a queen immediately. Backing off momentarily, electing to siege up his tanks. Looks like he wants to engage with the rest of his medevacs joining the forces. eXile is producing 13 Mutalisks now. No Baneling speed, by the way. The Speedlings are trying to close the distance. They do get into the tanks. The Banelings actually crash onto the tanks. They definitely wanted to get back to the bio. All things considered, eXile has done a good job so far of staying alive. To be honest, I thought that this push would roll him over. He was being doubled in army supply, and interestingly enough, now we have the Mutalisks fighting virtually no Marines. This is very Marauder heavy. The question now becomes, how much damage can the Marauders get done before the Mutalisks take them out? It looks like they will get this hatchery. Caster Curse spoke too soon. 72 health. eXile holds. The Mutalisks ended up working out really well. Banelings being morphed in now. No mining just yet at the gold base. Good worker count for both players. Additional barracks being added. 2-2, pretty close to finishing up. For Sweed, eXile does have his +2 melee attack finished. +2 Carapace is getting there as well. Hive Tech just now has begun. And we are now equal in army supply. So I'm actually a little bit surprised that Sweed is going with tanks. Personally, I hate using tanks against Ling Bane. They can work, but you have to be in great position with them every single time. Looks like Sweed wants to push out, possibly claim the gold base. Mutalisks are going to head in toward Sweed's base. One turret in the main mineral line, quite a few in the natural, but a lot of these add-ons are unprotected, as are the armory and an engineering bay. Where is the second E-bay? There it is. That one's relatively safe. Mutalisks are going to come in and they're going to focus down the turret first. Entire Terran army is coming back. Now there is a Thor mixed in there. Uh-oh, eXile's actually he's going to abandon his plan. Nice quick response there from Sweed to surround the turret. Got the repair off. I think if eXile would have just focused on the add-ons and the eBay, he would have been able to get some damage done. But in any case, he did manage to pull the Terran army back home. It's going to buy a little bit of time. With that being said, the push is now at eXile's doorstep. He does have quite a lot of units, but they're not in perfect position to defend. The Mutalisks are going to come home. The main armies do clash now. Banelings are going to get through. They're going to try to hit the Marines. They are on creep as of right now. The remaining Marines are taken out. The tanks are taken out. The Thor is taken out. And as we can see here, this is not a good situation for Sweed. Excellent job there by eXile. Maybe a bit over-eager from Sweed to push on to creep like that. And this kind of highlights the problem that I have with tanks against Ling Bane. They're very easily surrounded, especially when you're on creep. Now, if you're going to use tanks, you'd have to put them like here, for example. There really aren't even many other good places. Really just the high ground here. Push at the edge of creep and try to bait the Zerg into the tank fire. When they're out in the open like that, they get surrounded so easily from the fast Ling Bane. But very well managed from eXile, and now he recognizes he has an advantage. He's going to press his advantage. Pushes in at the gold base of Sweed. Lings are going to easily clean up the Marines. And the Mutalisks have to be a little bit careful. As I say that, though, I realize that there aren't too many Marines coming in here for Sweed. eXile may have done it. At the very least, It's going to force a liftoff of the gold base. Elects not to go for the kill just yet. But this Thor is tasked with holding off the entire swarm. I don't think it's going to happen. He did damage these Mutalisks very badly. In fact, some of them going down now to the turrets. But with that being said, there just aren't enough bio reinforcements to hold this off. I think eXile has broken Sweed. GG is called. Really good game one there. Well done by eXile. He was in a disadvantaged position on a couple of occasions there, managed to hold, and pushed with a counterattack for the win. Hello. I'm almost done here. Yeah, it is. What? No, it is. Wait, what? Alright, we're just going to go to Odyssey here. So Proxima is a Terran favored map. Odyssey, I believe, is Zerg favored. So even it out here. And if we go to a game 3, we'll go to Abyssal Reef, which I think is probably the most balanced map in the pool. At least it is for me anyway. You want to play the puzzle game I was telling you about? It's a lot of fun. Oh, well, I'm finishing up this StarCraft. I was playing the puzzle game for a while. So if I'm not mistaken, Sweed's actually Platinum 1 on EU. He can correct me if I'm wrong. I know he's Platinum. I'm pretty sure he's Platinum 1. Anyway, top left-hand corner of the map is the blue Terran, Swede. His opponent in the bottom right, it's the red Zerg, eXile. So, last game, we saw a pretty safe opener from Swede. He went 3 racks before third base, so he wanted to push out, do a little damage. And I think it was actually a good idea, but as I pointed out during the cast, I just think it was the wrong position to try to execute that attack. Now on this map, you can actually, if you can get your tanks here with that same type of push, it can be really, really strong. It can actually be game ending. So we'll see if he tries to go with the same idea. Same SCV scout is coming out. It's going to be an early scout. Same build so far from eXile with the hatch gas pool. Second gas being added very quickly, actually. From Sweed. You know, normally I would say this could be the Cyclone build. It's the only reason I can think of to go for such a fast second gas. Wall-off is complete. I mean, granted, it could be for something like a 1-1-1, but in TVZ, it's just really not a good choice, in my opinion, off of one base. So, the only thing I can think of off of one base that is not a proxy build would be some kind of mass Cyclone build. It's the only thing I can think of that can work for Terran off of one base. Even then, personally, I don't like it, but I have seen it work. And in fact, it does look like that's what we're going to be seeing. There is enough gas, by the way, for a reactor. There it is right now. This is going to be interesting. SCV is tucked away here, can come back in for a follow-up scout. And it's going to be a while, by the way, before eXile gets his scout. I'm assuming he's not going to send this Overlord in here. That's always pretty risky, so he's probably going to tuck him back here somewhere. And he might not know about this for a long time. He might not know about it until it's too late. Reaper comes in. Doesn't get any kills just yet. Good job there by eXile. Going for the Spore cancels. One drone might go down, but it will be at the expense of the Reaper. In fact, it does not even go down. So really good job so far from eXile. He's got to get these cancellations in. That would actually hurt a lot if he doesn't. That actually hurts a lot. He needs all of the drones that he can get. And now he's going to have Spore Crawlers against Cyclones. So that is definitely unfortunate for eXile. I'm sure he's pretty irritated with that. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to happen. But as I said, he wants all of the economy that he can get, especially against a build where he's definitely going to be losing some drones. How many he loses remains to be seen, but he is definitely going to be losing some drones with this. This is a very invested attack from Sweed. He's pooling his Cyclones right now. He already has his expansion up on the high ground. Overlord is actually poking in here and sees that there's no natural on the low ground. That's really important information for eXile. In fact, I do like this play a lot, and he actually does this a lot. The dropper lords on both sides of his opponent's base, and he actually could hit while Sweed is out on the map. So this one could get crazy. Actually only 2 Cyclones here. I was not expecting this. Only 2 Cyclones and immediate tank follow-up. So we're actually not going to see any aggression come out of Sweed with this. I've got to second guess that a little bit. I think if you commit to staying on one base for so long, you want to get economic damage done. But with that being said, eXile is going for really, really heavy 2 base aggression. He's going to go for Banelings on the left side, Lings on the right, but that Banshee should have seen these units here. I'm not sure if Sweed saw them, but the Banshee definitely did. Going to be a double drop of Lings into the main, Banelings at the natural, and Lings coming in also at the front of the natural. Tank is actually going to do serious friendly fire damage. Lings going into the main now. Banshee is coming back home, and Banelings about to be dropped on that natural mineral line. Really good damage so far, with 5 workers being killed and counting up to 13. This is absolutely brutal. Still far from the damage, that is to say, is still far from being over. Have I ever told you guys my girlfriend's a weirdo? A very successful attack there. Go ahead, I turned the camera, my goodness. Very successful attack there from eXile. So we can see he's at 27 workers to 13. He doesn't have a third base yet. But with that being said, he has to make a decision soon. And in fact, right as I say that, he's going for Lair off of 2 bases as well as Burrow. These Lings will be more than enough to occupy Sweed. Sweed cannot bring those Banshees home. In fact, that's exactly what he's doing. He really shouldn't. Sweed needs to go in to eXile's main and get some damage done with those Banshees. eXile is doing the right thing and just flooding Lings right now. He's trying to pull Sweed back home, and in fact, he's been successful thus far. These Marines are awfully ambitious. They're going to get picked off easily by the Lings. Not even sure if he saw the Banelings being morphed in, so there's going to be another wave coming in from Sweed. Okay. Oh, nice, thanks. Banshees are now attacking the Lair, and actually, if the Spore Crawler is not repositioned, these drones can mine, by the way, but if the Spore Crawler is not repositioned, this Lair could actually fall. Banshees now need to be repositioned. Good job there by Sweed to pull back. Nice transfusion goes down from eXile. Sweed does end up backing off. The Overseer puts an end to that, but he is going to come over and scout the third base. He might even be able to get a cancellation. Got some Banelings parked outside of the natural, and the Dropper Lord is still alive. So we could be seeing another round of Baneling bombs from eXile. Keep in mind, he also does have Burrow, and a round of 21 drones was just completed. So economically, we have 45 drones to 18 SCVs. This is not a good situation for Sweed. He's actually going to, eXile is going to get into the main, and he's going to definitely pick up a couple more. Looks like just one more so far. Good job by Sweed, pushing it away. Banelings actually, all things considered, that was not nearly as bad as it could have been for Sweed, whose army supply is actually quite good, considering the damage he sustained, but he really needs to make more SCVs. Like what? Not even slightly. Third base being retaken now by eXile. Oh dear. I like this choice a lot. It's going into Mutalisks, and with such a low SCV count, any damage that the Mutalisks get done could be game-ending damage. There are a lot of Marines, mind you, but they do not have stim. They do not have combat shields. Sweed is in a really difficult position right now, and by the way, these tanks are going to be completely exposed by the Mutalisks. This is why I hate making tanks against Ling Bane. Another reason, I should say. I already pointed out some reasons last game. But this will be another reason. Widow Mines can, at the very least, zone Mutalisks. Best case scenario, kill a couple. Tanks will just get eaten alive. Third base finishing up now for eXile. 47 drones to 26 SCVs. The army supply, though, as I pointed out before, is still pretty good for Sweed. He's making the most of this situation. He's actually done a commendable job staying in the game so far. eXile has done a very good job with his attacks. Great pressure, great follow-ups with the Ling floods, and now he is situating himself economically to go for the kill. Sweed really needs to be making SCVs constantly. He's only on 28 SCVs, not even close to full saturation in his main, and that is really going to hurt him, especially since his aggressive options are so limited without stim or combat shields. He actually can't attack. If he tries to attack, he will be killed very quickly. Bio just cannot attack without stim or combat shields, unless it's an all-in, like a proxy Rax. Mutalisks are going to poke around here. Now, even without stim, they don't want to fly over the Marines, so eXile has to be careful. It looks like, okay, yeah, Sweed has realized now that he doesn't have stim or combat shields. He really should stay at home. eXile, for his part, should just be poking. He doesn't want to commit unnecessarily with these Mutalisks, but he should be poking, getting information. Would like to see some burrowed units around the map so he would see this push out. He's not going to see this push out. But again, I have to point it out, without combat shields and without stim, more importantly, this is just going to be so hard for Sweed to pull off. Looks like he wants to slowly leapfrog his tanks forward. Mutalisks of eXile are going to swoop back in, get pushed away by a turret. Good job there by Sweed setting up his defense. Sweed does not yet know that eXile is actually on 4 bases. Actually, a macro hatch as well. I like that. It is definitely going to help eXile spend. Looks like we have an Overlord, a Dropper Lord actually coming through. Getting off another scout. It didn't drop anything as far as I could tell. And this is going to be a really slow leapfrogging tank push. But combat shields are now complete, but without stim, again, it's going to be so hard for Sweed to pull this off. eXile might know about this. He sees 1 Marine. I'm not sure if he has seen the full extent of this attack that is incoming. Sweed, for his part, knows absolutely what he's up against. In fact, that's probably why he's not pushing. Looks like he's just waiting for stim. Banshees are going to come in here, but they're going to be quickly attacked by the Mutalisks. The Ling Bane close the distance super fast. Take out 3 of the 4 tanks, I believe, or was it 2 of the 4? The tanks, though, do hold strong with 37 kills on one and 16 on the other. The bad news for Sweed, though, and the great news for eXile, is that once again, the Mutalisks are going to reign supreme just like they did in the first game. eXile is giving chase. He's going to pick off the final Marauders. There just are not nearly enough forces at home for Sweed, and as soon as eXile pushes, I think he's going to be able to put this one away. 3rd base was made. It's being floated to the location now, but the army supply is the biggest problem. Worker supply is still vastly in favor of eXile. So I actually don't think there's any advantage right now for Sweed. He's down 1 upgrade, soon to be 2. He is down almost, he's basically being tripled in army supply, more than tripled actually, in army supply, and almost doubled in worker supply. So as soon as eXile realizes this and presses his advantage, he will be able to close it. Now, does he realize that? Does he realize how crippled Swede's economy is from the earlier attacks? I'm not sure. Hive is on the way. So well done there from eXile. Even if, this basically guarantees eXile that even if he doesn't go across the map, press his advantage, push for the win right now, he's securing the advantage in the late game with the Hive tech. It looks like Sweed wants to get some harassment done. I do like this. He isn't just sitting at home. He realizes he has to get something done. He has to start to mitigate this economic advantage of the Zerg. Queen goes down quickly. A few drones as well. Sweed picks up and gets out. So a successful little attack there from Sweed, picking off 6 drones. It looks like he is going to lose this medevac and the Marines in it, though. There are quite a lot of Mutalisks. 17 Mutalisks, even 4 Corruptors being added in. This could be for Broodlords, could just be for additional drop defense. I'm going to assume it's for Broodlords. Either way, it's going to work. eXile does get a scout off on the 3rd base of Sweed, which is now fully saturated, and he has resumed SCV production, so I'm glad to see that. It's up to 42 workers. It is, in fact, Greater Spire. I was right, and if this goes unscouted, that will provide a tremendous challenge to Sweed, who is now making... to Sweed, and eXile is now making 16 more drones. So he's actually going to be at a really nice drone count once this round is complete. I'm guessing he'll send them straight to the gold base. Another drop incoming for Sweed, who is just now getting his +2 attack. He's down a full set of upgrades. It'll be 1-1 versus 2-2. Adrenal glands have begun. This single drop if it goes into the main, might get a couple of gas drones. If it goes to the 4th here, might get a couple of drones, but eXile has his army well positioned to defend. I do like this secondary drop here. If eXile goes with an F2 defense, which is how he's starting, he could lose a lot of drones here at the 4th. So quite a few drones do go down at the gold base. Sweed needs to focus this. He really needs to focus this attack on the drones. eXile does manage to push away this drop, and he's coming back now for the first drop. A gas goes down, but that's not going to do much to help Sweed's cause, I must say. If he would have gotten the base, or at least wiped out the drone line there, then I think he would have a fighting chance in this game. As soon as those Broodlords come in, though, and Greater Spire is complete, mind you, as soon as the Broodlords come in, this is going to be a completely different game. Barring a mistake from eXile, Bio should not be able to deal with this army. Bio alone, that is. He's going to need Vikings, and he still doesn't know that Greater Spire is in play. He's getting his 4th base. And he does have a gas bank. If he identifies that he's up against Broodlords and he throws down a couple of extra starports, he will be able to start making Vikings quickly. But he has to recognize that Broodlords are in play as soon as possible. +2 attack has now finished. I think he's still on a single engineering bay, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. +2 attack has finished. +2 armor incoming. Mutalisks are going to swoop in. They're going to pick off at least one turret and a medevac nearly full of units. 2 medevacs nearly full of units. Nice attack there from eXile. And now the main army is activated. So again, no knowledge of Hive, let alone Greater Spire. So this could really spell trouble here. Oh my goodness. Yes, this is going to spell a lot of trouble for Sweed. 9 Broodlords. There are a lot of Thors. How many do we have? Yeah, 4 Thors with another one being added. So there's quite a few Thors. But I do not think they're going to get past the Ling Bane to be able to fire on the Broodlords. And even if they can, they actually have to be in the high impact payload mode in order to do any kind of damage whatsoever. eXile is now looking for the kill. We've got 131 army supply to 98. I believe some Mutalisks were actually taken out here. And a drop is ready to go into the gold base that it needs to be activated as soon as possible. Sweed really just does not have any time. Broodlords are now scouted. The Lings are going to go and get a surround on the Planetary. We're going to zoom out here, take a look at the scale of this battle. Planetary does go down very quickly. This is the problem, though. The Marines are actually fighting against Broodlings and Banelings, and the Thors are doing the same. This is why Vikings are so important. They're just downright necessary to fight the Broodlords. The Terran army is wiped out at home. The drop, though, does take out the gold base. We're going to have a bit of a base trade, but I just think that there's more than enough of a bank for eXile to be able to take care of this double drop. In fact, Zerglings are going to come out. These are 3-3 Adrenal Gland Zerglings versus 2-2 Marines. They're quickly disposed of. eXile still on 4 bases, has a macro hatch as well. He's actually taking a 5th in the corner. And the Broodlords now are going to conduct what I believe to be the final assault. Broodlings mowing down the supply depots, mowing down the Marines. GG is called. Well played there. Well done.